Hi, and thanks for joining me for this meditation focusing on the third eye and pineal gland area. And the intention of this meditation is for better intuition and wisdom. My name is Swanson. I am the author of the book Science of Yoga. I'm a yoga therapist as well as an anatomy and physiology teacher. And if you haven't already watched the rest of this 3-part series on the science of pineal activation, make sure you check out the links in the description. Let's go ahead and get started with this deep relaxation, this third eye chakra meditation. You can be in whatever position is comfortable for you, lounging back in a chair or couch, sitting tall if that works for you. But this is a little bit of a longer meditation, so it's totally fine to lie down, lie on the floor, in bed, get comfortable with some pillows. Whatever position allows you to bring your awareness more inward. So take a moment and set yourself up. Grab any pillows or blankets that you may need. Notice how your body feels in this position. Notice if there's anything you could do to get just 5 to 10% more comfortable. And if so, feel free to do that right now. Taking a few moments to settle in. Notice all the sounds you hear, from far away to up close. Hear any sounds as background noise. As you bring your awareness to the sensations in your body, in your inner world. Notice any smells, any tastes that are present right now. And through closed eyelids, notice any shapes or lights, colors that you see. Notice all that's coming in from your 5 senses in this moment. We tend to lose touch with our greater sense, our 6th sense that allows us to truly see things as they are, our intuition. So let's open back up to get in touch with it. When you pause in stillness, can you feel all the movement occurring inside your body? Notice. Feeling your inner world. Now bring your attention to your head, inside your skull, your brain floating. Maybe you can sense this, visualize your brain, which is floating in cerebral spinal fluid, and feel the sense of floating. And begin to softly focus on the area between your eyebrows. You can gently roll your eyeballs up and inward to the spot right between your eyebrows. In anatomy terms, this area is called your glabella. And in yoga terms, this is your third eye or ajna chakra. So taking a few moments to feel into this area, bringing awareness to your ajna chakra may help you relax, get in touch with an inner wisdom, your intuition. Perhaps even a spiritual sense. Awareness in between the eyebrows. No need to strain or force. This is easeful and subtle. Soften your gaze. Soften the muscles around your eyes. Just gently looking up and inward. This soft focus can help you stay deeply present. Be present with this for the next few moments. Now let's more accurately, anatomically identify the pineal gland area with our attention. Navigating your inner body. Imagine the very center of your brain, the center inside your skull. To identify this center area, let's take it from all directions. So directly behind your third eye, directly in between that spot right above the cartilage of your ears. And then imagine the highest point of your skull. Maybe you have a little bit of a cone head where you can just visualize and feel the highest point, and down from there. Channelize your gaze to the center of your brain where the pineal gland sits. So we're posterior to the center of your brow, inferior or below the highest point of your skull, and intermediate in between the top point of the cartilage of your ears. The center of your brain. Soft focus. Focus on feeling rather than thinking it. Physically feel. And notice any sensations or vibrations in the area, pulsations. This is your inner world to explore. Your body. Just notice. The more you notice, the more you see clearly. Becoming more and more open to seeing clearly, seeing things as they really are. The more you notice, the more present you become. The more you become an accurate observer of yourself and others, which is a superpower. But it takes practice. This is a practice. So if your attention wanders, just gently come back. This is a natural step of training your brain. When the mind wanders to something else, notice and come back to the physical sensations and awareness in the center of your brain. And feel your breath. Imagine bathing the area with your breath. Imagine your breath dynamically stimulating the area. And visualize a flower. Whichever flower comes to mind, or perhaps more traditionally a lotus flower. Whatever speaks to you, visualize this flower as if it's in the center of your brain, expanding, petals opening with the inhales, and then a slight closing with the exhales, but still with each breath slowly opening little by little with a rhythm. Physically feel a sense of expansion and openness with the inhales, and the feeling of being grounded, steady with the exhales. Keep with this visualization. Perhaps it feels like the flower is growing, expanding. Becoming more brilliant. And experimenting with feeling both expansive and open and grounded and stable simultaneously. Perhaps letting go of the visual and just focus on the physical feeling of being both expansive and open, yet grounded and stable simultaneously. Come back to that soft focus of the center of your brain. And recognize and remember that you contain everything inside. Your body is wise. There is so much wisdom within you. What does it feel like to trust? Notice how your body feels when you evoke a sense of trust. Trusting that deep down, you know the right response to every circumstance in your life. Trusting that when you listen to your body and intuition, things become clear. Invite and allow a sense of openness. Open to the intuition that's within you. Open and ready to see clearly. And rest in this space, wide open and expansive. In this open space, visuals may come, sometimes words or feelings. Notice what comes and goes. Observe what arrives in this state. listen to the wisdom in your body. And trust that you are processing and hearing and seeing exactly what you were supposed to, exactly what's needed in this moment. No need to try or grasp. It will arrive naturally. It is arriving. Perhaps it's just this state of openness and bringing this state with you more often through your day, because you always have access to this at any time. You can always come back to this practice to continue developing the sense of wisdom and intuition that's already there, accessing what's already within you. Take a few deeper breaths as you slowly transition back to your 5 senses. Keep this 6th sense of intuition with you, but notice what you feel, smell, taste, see, hear. Notice all the layers of this moment as you slowly deepen your breath. You can bring some movements back into your body, slowly coming out of this meditation, but bringing these qualities with you.